Hey, what's up guys? It's Matt from More Music Sessions. In this video, we're going to be covering just a few notes out of the Hal Leonard Guitar Method book. So, book one. If you got the complete method book, then yeah, this is some of the first few pages that we get into. So, on the previous video I made, we started out with number one. And we talked about how we read E, F, and G on sheet music and how we read chord boxes. So go back to the previous video if you haven't looked at that one yet. But we're going to be moving on to two and looking ahead and see how far we get with this video. Keep talking about some fundamentals and basics that we do with guitar. So last time with one, we talked about if you see a circle on sheet music, that tells you that's a whole note, and you get 4 counts for that rhythm. So, and a good way to make sure that you're keeping your rhythm is to play along with the metronome. So we're gonna keep doing that, pulling up the metronome on number one. Off of the sheet that I have a link that you can check out and again, this is off of Hal Leonard Guitar Method, which I recommend you picking up either the complete method book or at least book one that you can keep following along with. We were going at 80 BPM with the metronome with number one, but we'll go ahead and slow it down a little bit more and we'll put it at 60 for 2 and some of these next ones that we've got. So I mentioned that if you weren't sure, if you see a circle on sheet music, that tells you that that's going to be 4 counts. That's a whole note. And I'll put up a sheet that is actually before this page in the book that gives you different music symbols too that you can keep checking out to get familiar with. Because with guitar, there's a few different ways that you can read music. And a lot of times guitar players only know how to read tabs or chord boxes. But with learning sheet music, you learn how to read where the notes are on actual sheet music and also learn more about rhythms, which we'll be doing with these videos. So let's go ahead and move on to number two. Keep getting comfortable with knowing where E, F, and G are on the first string. So these are the only 3 notes that we're going to be dealing with these exercises and songs to start. And then we'll add in a few other notes on different strings going forward. But number 2, they give you the rhythm we call a half note rhythm. And each rhythm has a correlating rest that goes with it, which we'll talk about. But for now, we'll just focus on what they're giving you to play for some of these notes. So the first few measures, they give you all half notes. So each one of these are going to get 2 counts. And then the last rhythm is going to be a whole note, which you hold out for 4 counts. So the way that you know it's a half note is if it's a circle and then they have you a stem that's either facing down or facing up. It doesn't matter if it's facing down or facing up, it's still going to get 2 counts. So let's go ahead and get right into it. So if I'm putting my metronome on at 60, this is going to be my pace. All right. So And again, a good habit to get into is to make sure that you're counting yourself in either out loud or in your head. So a lot of times where this click is, this gets 1 count, which we're going to run into how we write a 1 count rhythm in the next exercise. But yeah, so if we're feeling it right here, number 2 is going to sound like this. We got 1, 2, ready, and go. So that's going to go a little like that. But did you hear? Yeah, all of those, or most of them, besides the last one at the end, I was holding it out for 2 counts, 2 clicks that I heard with my metronome at 60 BPM. All right, so, and the reason that we play along with the metronome again too is it helps, and it's a tool that we use to give you more of a natural ability of keeping a steady rate, a steady tempo. And when you get into more advanced music going forward too, if you keep sticking with it, that's going to help with just really understanding where certain rhythms need to be placed that are a little bit more trickier. But that's number 2. Let me play it again for you here. So on this one too, again, watch out. You know, this is a good test of making sure that you're taking a note at a time with your reading skills, right? What you want to get in the habit of is looking at the note you're playing, but also kind of looking ahead, because you notice how they give you an extra G, and then they give you one more F before you end on an E at the end. All right, so E being a space note on the 4th space, F on the 5th line of the staff, and then G is still considered a space note even above the staff. So number 2 is going to go a little like this again. 1, 2, ready, and go. And you see how I was dampening the strings after I was done when I finished the song or the exercise. So that's another habit to get into with your playing, to cut off the sound where they're asking on certain things that we do. But that was number 2. So yeah, and if you guys got any questions too, you know, feel free to message me, put a comment, and I can get back to you. If you're interested in taking lessons, yeah, send me a message as well. We could see about setting something up. But look into hitting the subscribe button and give me a like on any of my videos that I put out. But let's keep looking ahead. So number 3, now we're going to be dealing with another rhythm, which is our quarter note rhythm. And a lot of times this rhythm is the rhythm that we are talking about when we're talking about the beat or talking about the count. Like we were just playing along with the metronome. Each click that you were hearing was a quarter note rhythm. That again is a lot of times what you are working with when you're feeling your pace or your pulse or your tempo are the words we use with how we're keeping our rhythm and our consistency with our timing. But yeah, the way that we notate a quarter note rhythm is with a dot and a stem. So yeah, note head and then a stem to tell us that gets 1 count. And just like the half notes I mentioned, it doesn't matter if the stem is facing down or it's facing up, it's still going to get 1 count. So let me go ahead and play number 3 for you, and we can talk more about what's going on with this one. So let's get the metronome up. And again, a reminder, if you're not quite comfortable with playing with the metronome yet, or if it seems too fast, slow it down a little bit more. If 60 seems too quick, bring it down to 40 or 50 BPM. But keep developing that skill, because that will help with just like some of the other stuff that we get into going forward. And you want to balance it out, right? Start when you're first looking at it. Don't worry about using the metronome, but still have a sense of your tempo. And then you can start working it in and pushing yourself to make sure that you're having smooth transitions between the notes. But here it is at 60, number 3. So now if these are all quarter notes, it's gonna go a little like this. 2, ready, and go. Yeah, so it's gonna go a little like that. So on this one too, you notice how most of them are quarter notes, but at the end they give you a half note. So, and again, it's not the same amount of notes in each measure too. On the third measure, they give you just 2 G's and 2 F's. So they want you to make sure that, again, that you're following along with the music, going from left to right, just like any other language, or most languages, that is, going from left to right. Yeah, and making sure that you're looking at the note that you're on, but also looking ahead to go into, to see into what you're going to be getting into as far as the notes go. Getting comfortable with knowing if you're on the 4th space for an E, on the 5th line for an F, or right above the staff, which is the 1st space note above the staff on the G that we've got. But let's play it again, and then we can keep looking ahead and see how far we get. So here's 60 BPM again. Number 3. And 1, 2, ready, and go. So yeah, you see how I held those out for 2 counts at the end. And another good habit to get into, since we're playing in this 4/4 time signature with these, to get comfortable with counting to 4 within that as well. I counted 1, 2 at the end, which works as well for the half note at the very end. But you could have also said 3, 4, to finish off the 4 counts within that measure that we're dealing with. So that's 2 and 3. So yeah, we got a few more minutes left before I'm gonna wrap it up here. Let's go ahead and look into some of the next ones that we've got. So let's talk about number 4. And they give you a lot of great reminders too in your practice, in your musical journey going forward here. So they even say, at first, practice the exercises slowly and steadily. When you can play them well at a slow speed, gradually increase the tempo, parentheses speed. So that's important to remember. You know, songs that are meant to be played fast, even when you get comfortable with playing them fast, it's a good idea to warm up at a slower rate to make sure you're creating good habits. Yeah, I tell a lot of my students that nice and slow is the fastest way you grow. So the more that you get comfortable with playing it at just a familiar, comfortable pace, then that's going to help with gaining more accessibility to progress going forward. So keep reminding yourself of that. But let's go ahead and play some of 4. I'll go ahead and play with the metronome. If you're not comfortable with playing with the metronome yet, start without it and then work in to eventually playing at least at 60 BPM. So the golden tempo practice area is 60 to 80. If you can get comfortable with going around there and connecting the notes and being able to stick with what they're giving you note-wise and rhythmically, then that's going to help with your skills more going forward. But let's go ahead and put the metronome back on at 60. So number 4 is going to sound something like this. We got 1, 2, ready, and go. right, so now we're getting into more combinations of these three notes to watch out for. Keep reminding yourself. That's why it's so good to start like the first like couple weeks or so, just getting comfortable with these three notes. Make sure that you're really familiar with where they are on the staff when you're reading sheet music, so you can anticipate them as we add in more notes going forward. Let me go ahead and play it again for you. So yeah, you can use it as a reference when you're practicing here. So it's gonna go like this. 1, 2, ready, and go. So number 4 is going to go a little like that. All right. So yeah, we can go ahead and start wrapping up this video. We knocked out 2 to 4 here. We can see about getting into some of the next etudes next time, if you want to even start taking a look ahead. But like I said, be patient with yourself with getting comfortable with these three notes and balancing it out. A method book along with playing different riffs is what's going to really just get your guitar skills going forward. And I'll be posting some guitar riffs on some of my other videos that you can check out here as well. But this one is going to be a lot of getting you comfortable with reading sheet music and getting comfortable with moving around the neck, of just really getting a feel of where your fingers need to be and gaining that muscle memory to be able to have some dexterity with moving around on the instrument. All right, so get comfortable with practicing 2 to 4 off of this video. Feel free to look ahead on some of my other videos. If you got any questions, feel free to send me or put a comment on the video. If you're interested in taking lessons, send me a message and we can set something up. But get comfortable with going from 2 to 4 on the sheets that I put up for a link for you, and we'll take it from there.